What's a dirty secret that everybody in your industry knows about but anyone outside of your line of work will be scandalized to hear? Not really my industry anymore, but I used to work in a pet store, and now I work for a vet that works closely with several pet stores. If you're in a pet store that sells snakes, there's like a 75% chance at any given time that there's a snake loose in there. 99% of tech support is using Google. Most issues could be handled by the user if they simply Googled it. Those totally jacked up personal trainers didn't get that way from the protein supplement they're trying to sell you. Lawyers generally do not dislike each other. The prosecutor for your son's case and his defense attorney may very well be good friends. Tech companies that offer breakfast, lunch, dinners, and other amazing sounding perks are just doing whatever they can to keep you at work for as long as possible. When repairing furniture, a lot of times we just use a marker to cover up scratches. Granted, they're carefully selected to match the color, of course, but they're still just normal markers. Drug abuse of every kind is normalized in the restaurant industry. It's crazy how many alcoholics, casual sugar users I've worked with. Although heavy drugs are very much frowned upon, people will boast about killing a bottle of expensive whiskey the other night. Used to be in theater. Costing couch it is prevalent in some professional circles, and sleeping your way up, or having to show skin to audition, is not surprising to hear about. The whole Kevin Spacey thing recently? Yeah. I was being told stories about Kevin Spacey when I was in college nearly 20 years ago. How he was trading an understudy role to young man he fancied in exchange for sexual favors. It was always just a yeah, this exists. You can choose to participate or not. People don't really judge either way. It's an entire industry with 100 times more aspirants than needed, many of whom are young, desperate, and good looking, and a small number of powerful people with artist egos holding all the cards. It is the least surprising thing ever. The actual price of eyeglass lenses. Parcels marked fragile are treated exactly the same as every other parcel. A lot of your favorite YouTubers are just the talent, the face of a much larger operation that fakes authenticity. The folks in the ambulance with you, regardless of what you are being charged for care transport, are making between $9 and $25. No one I know makes the upper end an hour. They genuinely care for your health well-being, so long as you genuinely need their service, but could be in the middle of the 16th of December 2024 hour shift. Teacher here. We know that a percentage, depends on the school, of our colleagues are doing a crap job and we cover for them because we can't find anyone better, or the principal simply doesn't care. Pharmacist here. Whenever pills get dropped on the floor, they get picked up and go back in the bottle. Hospital worker. The elevators break down more times than you could imagine. We usually say they are down for maintenance so the public doesn't get nervous about the elevator somehow dropping all the way to the basement. You would also not believe how many pests can come through, such as flies, bedbugs, and mice. Bonus. At my hospital, when a housekeeper is told to clean a spill, it is actually a code phrase for remove the dead rat. Few years ago I used to clean hotel rooms. It may have been unique to the company I worked for, but we were ridiculously underpaid and given very little time to clean a room properly. It was common that if someone only slept a night or two in a bed, it was just remade without changing sheets. In rooms that had glasses, like actual glass ones, it was quicker to wash them in the sink than go for new ones, even if that included wiping them dry with the same towel you used to wipe the last room's shower sink mirror with, or occasionally even toilet. Seriously, never drink of a hotel glass unless it's sealed in a bag. Not an industry, but a profession. I'm a programmer. The dirty little secret: if Stack Overflow were to ever go down, all work in IT departments across the globe would grind to a halt. If you have a weird or amusing name, it will probably get made fun of by somebody. Industry: any job that involves working with customer data. Almost all of the calls you hear on your local radio station are not live. They were recorded during the last song or during a commercial break. There are many sneaky ways to make a call sound live. Maybe not as scandalous as some things here, but I don't think people realize how wasteful live theater tends to be. Some places make an effort to reuse materials, but even then there's a ton of painted lumber, foam, and decommissioned props that go straight to the dump after the set's torn down. Operating room nurse here. Yeah. Surgery is sterile-ish. We don't drain the pool after a kid throws up. We chlorinate the heck out of it. The bacteria are dead. We clean the crud out. But draining and refilling a pool would be waste of time and water. Seriously, though. It's clean when we're done. You won't get sick from whatever Charlie had before he upchucked. Don't work there anymore but used to intern at a zoo, and we kept a dead alligator in the meat freezer until he could be properly disposed of. And we got a meat delivery early and people walked by and the head of the zoo just immediately went to calling it something that made it sound just like a food item, but no, it was a dead animal not meant for consumption. Also the break room had animals in it all the time. And animals fall loose frequently. We had a bunny jail for the rabbits that refused to stay in their enclosure that everyone could see. And we 100% were talking about the bullet you did if you did something stupid to the animals. I miss that job. Kinda wish I'd stick with it, but it wouldn't have worked out. People hate to see trees cut. So now when the paper and lumber companies cut land near the freeway, they leave 10 yards of trees. The next time you're driving and see trees, look and see if they stop in about 30 feet. Perhaps not scandalous, but the urine pregnancy tests used in physicians' offices and hospitals have the same accuracy as the cheap no-name brands you can buy at box stores. It's a $45 charge for the test where I work. If you ask a nurse, there are doctors we would never want caring for us, our family or friends. I work at a lingerie store. I know your bra size the second I lay my eyes on your tits. I tend to do this when I'm not working and accidentally stare at people's chests. I work in the insurance fraud investigation litigation industry, and you would not believe how much fraud there is out there. And I'm not even talking individual con artists. I mean doctors and lawyers, working together, scamming the insurance companies for hundreds of millions all the time. The fun part? Insurance companies don't really care, so long as the executives get their fat bonus at the end of the year. This was told to me and my colleagues by an insurance company's own fraud investigator, who we work for, and that he has to regularly beg to keep us on the payroll despite the fact that we recover millions upon millions in revenue lost to fraud for our client. Fun times. Fun times. A huge amount of social science research is shoddy and impossible to replicate. Nobody wants to do replication work because it's not as exciting and harder to get funded because the groups that fund such research want new exciting findings. Not as glamorous as some. The construction industry, even in the UK, has big problems with what we call modern slavery. It's always the same formula. Young men are rounded up in Eastern Europe, told there's a fixer who can get them a good job in Italy, France, Germany, Britain. They won't even have to pay anything up front. When they arrive, the UK is preferred as it's outside the EU free travel zone. Their passports are taken and they're told they have a massive debt they have to pay back. They're boarded in tiny hovels with one bedroom between maybe 4 people. We're getting better at detecting it than we used to be, but there's an awful lot of progress to be made. Your software is held together with duct tape, glue, hopes and dreams. It is a terrible, buggy mess built by the finest Indian programming minds fresh from school. The cheaper, the better. Dental hygienist, we can 100% tell if you floss. Like, don't even bother lying honestly. It's so easy to know who flosses and who doesn't. We don't know there are bed bugs in a room until someone calls to complain about it. We can only treat the space so much, but people will just bring them back again. Software developers are usually very specialized in coding for a specific platform and don't know how to fix your PC issues. I have worked with developers who know less about PC troubleshooting than my 75-year-old dad. Some of your favorite artists are making extensive use of canned backing tracks at concerts. Teacher, some of your kids suck. Most popular songs are written with only 4 chords, and generally the same intervals and the same beats. Only thing that changes a bit is the melody and the lyrics. Your car insurance company tries to make us use parts off of junkyard cars to repair yours instead of buying new parts. And 99% of body shops have to do it or the insurance companies won't send them any work in the future. Demand new parts from your insurance company, guys. That's what you're paying for. Video game tester. All those bugs that end up in shipped titles. Yeah. Everyone from production to development to QA knew about them. Think of the buggiest title you know of. Can pretty guarantee everyone knew about those issues and it was agreed to ship with them. Most industrial control systems have very little security. It frustrates IT security specialists. But the vast majority of production managers judge the potential loss due to being hacked as significantly less than the potential loss due to enhanced security measures complicating the control system. Automation vendors are being pressured to include more security, but their customers are choosing not to implement it. TL. Doctor, I work in radio in Canada. We have to play Nickelback because it's the law. We have Canadian content regulations, or CanCon for short. 35% of the music we play has to be made in Canada, and a lot of crap, for example, Nickelback, has made it to air over the years, all in the name of hitting CanCon targets. Forensic analysts know how to get all of your data, regardless of medium. Some lawyers don't always know more than their legal assistants nor the law that they are practicing. Shocking, I guess. Like going to a gynecologist to check your ears. They can change their specialty which they practice without any further education than they got when they first passed the bar. College is a business. Believing in what they say about your future is like believing what your worst Facebook friend posts about the oil rollers they're selling. Update. Non-profit schools face different but similar pressures to raise money and grow. I'm told non-profits outside the education industry are also a mess, because humanity. There are a lot of errors in just about every in-ground pool. You just hope they all get covered up well enough after final grading pours. Better hope everything is level enough. I work at Starbucks, and there is no regard for waste whatsoever. No recycling. Every single thing is individually wrapped with as much plastic as deemed necessary. And at least at our store, we've thrown entire sleeves of cups away and whole packs of straws because the knife opening the box ripped the plastic and it's unsanitary, and those kinds of ideas. Hard to think of examples off the top of my head, but every single day I'm appalled at the waste we go through. And we're not even in food services nearly as much as now, an actual restaurant. Don't get me started on the food waste too. One night I took home 20 sandwiches that were going in the trash because they were going out that day, just so they wouldn't actually go to waste. I've taken home hundreds of dollars worth of products that was expired just so it wasn't wasted. And I've only been there 5 months. IT departments in most companies and industries are an underappreciated afterthought. People in IT are constantly pressured to do more work with no additional compensation and with less resources than required to keep up with the workload. How disgusting the inside of municipal water supply systems tend to be. I'm not talking about a Flint situation here. I mean a normal system that tests clean at the faucet, but if you open the line up somewhere before the meter, you're just like, ugh. Used to work in an emergency room. Everyone gets the same medical treatment, but I'll be sure to grab you an extra blanket pillow juice box if you're nice. If you're screaming profanities at me while I'm putting you on a bedpan, I probably won't come in to check on you as often. Used to work in hotels. Hope to dear God I don't have to go back. Sites like Expedia or Priscilla will book you a room when the entire hotel is sold out unless the manager specifically takes action to block them from doing so. Some managers give a writ and turn off that function. Some want every penny they can get and will just leave their staff to explain to you why you don't have a room. If you don't want this to happen to you, you need to book through the hotel's website or by calling them. Of course we always wash our produce, and definitely throw it away if it hits the ground. A company I used to work for makes semi-finished products that are sold to distributors who remove our markings and add their own, then sell them to end users who use them in a variety of applications. On a couple of occasions end users would drop distributor A for distributor B because B would claim that they had a superior product. They are in fact selling the exact same product. Regularly swap out made in China tags for made in USA because they designed to US specifications.